Hello, Math Champions. In the previous video, you saw about the simple interest, right? Where with the whatever money we are giving as loan to somebody else, the extra amount we will get that is called as the interest. It was simple. Now I said the next video we'll going to talk about little complex way of calculating interest. However, let's take a scenario. Okay. Let's say you have given $600 as a loan to somebody, and they have said that they will be using the $600 for 3 years. And after 3 years, they're going to pay you money. And you both have agreed that it's going to be at 5% per annum. Means per year, it is going to be 5%. Okay. So let's see in the simple interest format, what will be your extra interest that you will get. Okay. So how do we calculate that? We know it is PTR, right? Principal, time period, and so 600, the time period in the times of years, that is 3, and rate of interest is per annum, that is per year. So it is 5%. Okay, so if we calculate that, what happens is the interest that we have is, okay, so it's going to be 6, 5, 6, 3, 5 times 3, 6 times 5 is 30, 30 times 3 is 90. So the extra you are going to get is $90, the interest. So at the end of the, at the end of 3 years, the amount you're going to get is not only $600, it's also going to be $90 which is of interest. So you're going to get $690 at the end of 3 years. Okay, so because they are keeping your money of $600 with them for 3 years, you're going to charge them extra $90 and going to get at the end, you're going to get $690. Like, okay, fine. Okay, this is very simple. This is what we had learned in the previous video. Now, later on you think about it and you say, no, this is not, really nice because the value of money keeps on increasing. Means like whatever I could have bought with the $600. Let's say I could have bought a watch for $600. But the next year, if I want to buy the same watch, it is not going to be $600, right? It is going to be extra money, right? It's going to be at least $610 or something like that. That means if I consider the $600 the same way for 3 years, I may not be benefited by this, this whatever the setup here it is. I may not be benefited much because with the same $600, I could have done many more things, and I could have enjoyed that watch for the one entire year. And the same thing if I want to buy after 3 years, the watch itself is going to be some $660 or something like that, or $50. So what is the use of me waiting to use my money? Not of much use. So what you decide is you say, look, okay, this 5% is okay, but the interest is not going to be, done as a simple interest. We're going to compound the interest. What is the compounding? So what is what is the idea behind this? So at the end of the year, at the end of 1 year, what I'm going to do is I'm going to calculate the interest. Okay, at the end of the 1 year. Okay, so the interest at the end of 1 year is going to be how much? I know that is going to be 5% of $600. So 5% of $600 is going to be $30, right? $30. Okay, and that is how I got for 3 years, it's $90. So first year interest is $30. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say my actual principal now is going to be not $600, it is going to be 600 plus 30. So $630 now. Like, okay, $630. So the second year, if I'm going to calculate my interest, what I'm going to do instead of taking the $600, I will say it no, it's $630. You should consider that I have given $630 as the money that I've given because the value of money is already increased. So the principal that I'm going to take is 5% of the $630, not $600. So it is going to be 5 over 100 times is 630. So it is going to be, okay, $31.5. Okay, $31.5. Now, this $31.5, I added to the 630. Already my principal has changed to, instead of 600, it becomes 630. So with that, I'm going to add 31.5. So now my interest, my principal amount itself at the end of second year has become $661.5. Okay, so now third year's interest, if I do, what happens? Third year's interest is again 5% of $661.5 it's going to be. So what is it going to be? So if I calculate, okay, what do I get? If I go ahead and use the calculator and calculate this, I get $33.075. So what you're seeing is every year at the end of the year, the principal is also increasing. Okay. And also year by year, first year the interest was only $30. Now second year I've got $31.5. And the third year the interest also increased by $33. Why it is increased? Because the principal has increased. So now at the end of the 3 years, I'm going to get 661.5 plus this 33.075. So I am going to get 0.575 and 694.575 as my amount that I'm going to get. Okay, amount I'm going to get. So it's not principal. Now, because we're adding with the interest, 1 minute. Because I'm going to add with my interest, right? This is going to be the amount that we're going to talk about, right? So what has happened in a simple interest at the end of 3 years, I've got only $690. But as if I compound the interest, what am I getting? Little more I'm getting. And that is at 694.575. That is what I have got. Now, if you see this entire process, I'm getting benefited because of compounding. And if the number of years increase, still I'm going to get little more of the interest as well as amount is going to increase, which is going to be beneficial for me because the value of money keeps on increasing year on year, right? That is whatever I could have bought the previous year with little amount, now I cannot buy it with the same amount. I need to put extra amount. That means the value of money is increased, right? So how do we come up with a easy formula for compound interest? The pattern, what's happening here? If you see here, this is nothing but principal plus rate of interest times the principal, correct? This is what I have got here. Now, let's say this is this is how my $30 is coming, this part. Now, if you see here, what is happening? Let's come up with here. So, the principal is now, this 630 is nothing but this part, right? So, P plus R times P, okay, let's make it PR itself, okay, PR. Okay, this is what is my principal, that's 630, plus what is happening here, there's a 5% of this, which has got me the 31.5, which is here. That means, again, R times P plus PR. Correct? So this is happening. So from this, what do I know? I can say, so P plus PR if I take, okay, I can common like 1 plus R, right? 1 plus R. 1 plus R. Now if I take P also common out of this, P, okay, let me take here also. Let's say P plus PR, right? P plus PR. That means let me take P as common, 1 plus R. 1 plus R. Let me simplify that so that it becomes easier for us to understand. So in the first year itself, It was P times 1 plus R. So the next time when I'm doing this 630 is from this P times 1 plus R, right? That was what we started, right? That is the amount, the previous amount 630. That is what is coming here. That means this is what I'm going to put here. Then plus this 31.5. For that, how have you got that one? We have got that when he made R times this entire P plus R, right? P times 1 plus R, right? So when I do this, what happens? I can take again P times 1 plus R common among this and this, these two things. What am I left with? 1 plus R again I'm left with. That means what? P times 1 plus R whole square, right? Okay. So if I come to this third years, this is nothing but whatever I have got in the previous step. So P times 1 plus R whole square. This is what is the 66. This is what is the amount that I've got before, right? The plus my interest. Interest is what is going to be R times the previous one, correct? R times 1 plus R square. Correct. Now, in this also, if I take this as common, these two as common, if I take 1 plus R whole square, what am I left with? 1 plus R again. So this leaves me with P times 1 plus R whole cube. I get it, right? From this, what is the pattern that we are seeing is the amount of compound interest will be P times 1 plus R to the power of the number of years. So this is the formula for our compounded amount. Okay. Once we found the amount, you will subtract the amount, the principal from the amount, you will get the compound interest. That's it. So this is how you calculate compound interest. That means to say, if I am going to lend or borrow money, let's say $600 for at a rate of 3% compounded annually for 5 years. So how much I will have to pay at the end of 5 years? How do I calculate this? At the end of 5 years, I will have to pay 600 times 1 plus R is given as 3%. So 3 over 100, 3%, whole to the power of 5. So if I calculate this at the end of 5 years, how much is the amount I have to pay, I will find out. And if I have to find out the compound interest, I can just take the amount, whatever I've got, minus the $600. So I will get the compound interest, the extra compound interest that I had to pay. Okay. So this is how we do compound interest. And as such, when you compare, compound interest gives more interest compared to the simple interest. And it's a little bit complicated than the simple interest, right? Okay, we will talk about more applications of compound interest in the coming videos. Until then, bye-bye.